let you guys work. Probably for like 5 or 10 minutes. Check back in. Let you work for like 5 or 10 minutes. So, for anyone playing along at home, your homework is 417. But what we're going to do today is a not homework paper that I gave out. Oh, reminder, because I did not realize we hadn't really talked about this, and maybe we did and we forgot about it. Actually, turn to your neighbor and answer these questions while I'm pulling up Schoology.
Did you write down the notes? Starting point and hey Arlo, you know what it's on? It's on, you know, these. Did you write these down? Yeah, M is the slope, and B is the.
You should have notes that look like this. Hey, if you haven't found them yet, stop looking. But that tells you something about your organization. Right? If you can't find the stuff you wrote down, how worthwhile is it to have written it down? And by the way, someone's notes from yesterday, or 2 days ago, I forget if it was yesterday or 2 days ago, are over on my no-name board.
That is mine.
That is Liam's, so never mind, those are Liam's. But class, when we go to fill in, M is the, we're going to write.
Slope.
And when we go to fill in, B is the slope and or growth, right? Slope and or growth, y-intercept or initial value. So now, what we're going to do, and it's really what you guys are going to do, you're going to work through these 6 graphed lines on the front, figuring out the rule for each graphed line. If you need a refresher of something that we wrote in those previous notes, use those previous notes. Use your teammates, right? This is group work. Hey, Oliver and Hannah, I get it that you know what you're doing, but I'm like doing my thing right now, so if you could maybe just zip it for a moment, I wouldn't feel so disrespected. So you need to make sure that your rule includes the slope and the y-intercept. Right? Pay attention, is your slope positive, negative? Pay attention to, is your intercept positive, negative? So then on the back, you're going to flip that process around and you're going to take the rules they gave you and you're going to graph them. Hey Jagger, same message I just said to Oliver, please stop talking while I'm talking, because then you're going to turn around and ask me a question that I just talked about. If I was you, I would center your axes so that you have all 4 quadrants, because we're not just working in a single quadrant anymore. So like, for example, I would put my y-axis straight down the middle here, and I would put my x-axis straight across the middle, and I would stick with a 1-to-1 scale. That one box, like one countable box, is only one countable number. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, one of the graphs on the front didn't do this. Watch out for it. Are there any questions on what you're doing with the remainder of class? Because this is pretty much it. If you get done with this, you are welcome to work on homework. I'll check back in with you guys in like 10 minutes. Dive in.
Alright, cool. We need to get rules for this, right? Rules. Okay, maybe our first one was don't do that. Oh, let's look at the next one. Okay, alright.
Yes.
We can go to mass together.
Chat with your team. I bet one of them at least heard enough that they know what's going on. This, okay, so yeah, you're one of the people that throw in that trash. So,
alright, cool. I'm done. X bucks. X stands for X.
I'll probably just excuse it for you and everybody else, because that's like my fault.
Okay. So the rise is 2. Okay.
So this is one of those situations where you don't have to show work, but you do have to show the rule written out for why you do the sort of thing, right?
Okay, so it starts at 2 and increases.
I work on the same thing as the rest of your team at the same time. So Elsa and Alex, if you're going to work on the back, I would tell your team, like, hey, let's all work on the back. If you're going to work on, like, as a team, they're working on the
But
front.
it starts
So I
on
would decide what you're
2,
doing
so
first.
that would be y equals
We need to make
x
a
plus
rule
2.
for each of them. We need to write like the y equals, right? We need to write the rule for each of the lines.
All of So y equals 3x. No, y equals 4x plus 3.
Okay, okay, this, okay. Okay, so 0 is in every way, right? So y
Wait, hold on.
and it increases by 8.
Y equals 8x plus 5. Wait, do we have to add? I have a question real quick, Mr. Hudson. So, like, for a rule, so do we add, like, the rise and run together to get that x? Or, oh, wait. I think we're good. I think we're good.
I'll save my page for me.
X is like a number right here.
You're welcome.
Oh, yeah.
So for A. I know it's only been like 3 minutes, but I'm tired of people saying my name. It gets really like overwhelming.
I mean, you have been teaching for like 8 hours today.
Yeah,
Well,
but also I feel like as we go further into the future, it's becoming a bigger issue where kids think we're deaf and just say our names over and over again when really we heard you. We're not answering you right now because we're not answering you right now. I don't have my cards. I put my phone in my pocket instead of my cards. That was silly. I don't
happy
have my
accident.
phone. I don't need my phone. I'm teaching. So Henry, can you give me one of the pieces that we're going to use for the rule for A?
Well, if you look at you can see the growth right there, the slope, it's literally right there, 2 over.
So Henry says they gave it to us. They drew the triangle. Our change in y is 2. Change in x is 1. So he said it's 2 over 1, which reduces out to 2. So we know the growth is 2. Guys, for each of these rules, you could write out y equals blank x plus blank, because we're going to have an m and a b for both of these. Now, Henry, that growth, does that get attached to the x, or is it on its own? The growth is attached to the x, because as the x goes up, so does the 2 times x, because like 2 times 1, 2 times 2, 2 times 3, and therefore the y keeps going up also. Alex, what about the b part that Henry didn't give us? I think we could. Sure, yeah. So the b here is not 0. So we go back up and double check what we wrote for what the b is. Our b is our y-intercept, right, that we should have written down.
you really see that.
I know, but that's because I was trying to write on the purple down here.
Ah.
So what is our y-intercept, or where our line hits the y-axis? And the other thing that we had in our notes that we took is it was the y value. And guys, if you need to add this into your notes, I realize we probably should have written the word y value when x equals 0. But our y value when x, well, x is 0, go up to your y. Where do we hit the axis? 2. So our equation here, y equals 2x, because the growth was 2, plus 2, because the intercept was 2. Keep going.
Math!
Keep going.
Okay, so this one, it starts on 8. So y equals 8x plus 2. Wait a minute. -2. Okay.
No, but
It goes
goes up by negative.
Negative
It goes down by
2x plus 8.
plus 8. Okay, and then okay.
got
I'm
rules
just
for all
gonna
of
write
these.
y equals x, and we
You
need
have
x
rules for all of these.
plus.
So is there a reason why it looks like your focus is on your homework instead of on the classwork?
10.
Oh, and does it take me coming by you?
No.
Asked to do? Or can you make a mature decision to do what you're supposed to do on your own?
2x
I'm not
plus
here to babysit people, man.
y equals 2x plus
You
10.
guys are a team. Talk to each other.
No. This one is 8. Like I drew it out.
You essentially just let him get in trouble, Joe.
Y equals. And look at that thing.
Oh no, it's y equals 2x plus 8.
This is wrong. Like, you guys were talking the right directions, and you got a lot of wrong answers right now. So I don't like. I'm just gonna be honest. I don't really feel like helping you guys since it seems like you didn't need to listen to the directions. Get your notes out. Check stuff. Like those are wrong.
Let's start.
1 0. 1 it is 0. It is.
Oh, the growth is negative 4. Okay, so it's y equals negative 4x plus 2. Do we move on to the back when we're done?
Absolutely. Because if you get done, you can work on homework.
Okay, now I gotta put those rules into a graph. Ooh, I got an idea. Can we use like the colored pens for the back so that way we don't get mixed up?
Absolutely, great idea. Hey, just to point it out, you can start with the y-intercept because math is commutative, and as long as it's just addition, 2x plus 2 is the same as 2 plus 2x. So let's practice that, starting with the y-intercept for part B. Joe, could you tell me what the y-intercept is for part B? Y-intercept. So we're following the y-axis. Where does our line hit the y-axis? At 3, right? Now, the y-intercept does not have the x attached to it. Guys, this is equally right. I was walking around. Some people were writing mx plus b, and some people were writing b plus mx. That's fine. But you have to make sure your y-intercept does not have the x attached to it, and the slope does. So what is our slope here? Well, if I draw the slope triangle, oh, it's a 4 and a 2. So wait, what's our slope here, Kylie? Yeah, because 4 over 2 is the same as 2 over what? Which is 2. So it's 2, and then times x, because your growth is what gets attached to your x. Keep working. Your growth is what's attached to your x.
We're not working in the first quadrant.
So we already had the 3, so we don't have another plus anyway. Because we already had. Yo, sorry, I should have done this while I had your attention. The other way to write this with the slope first is 2x plus 3. But no matter what, the 2's with the x, because the slope is with the x.
Matt Bailey to the Perry office. Matt Bailey to the Perry office.
The y-intercept is always on its own. Guys, because if x is 0, that's what y is. If x is 0, gone, nothing, 0. That's what y is. Y would be 3 if x was 0. Alright, keep rolling.
Now we're working with, we drew the 4 quadrant.
I'm just like soaking in that moment. Like,
So we had to draw like.
Now I can just look at it and I know
Stay.
Oh wait, I got the same answer.
Yeah, number that. Where's the 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, divided by 6, 7, 8.
that is not 2. No. No.
Y
You're going the wrong way. I was about to say, this is 2, but you got it just in time.
I did not set
Say
it.
that. Slope, change over, change x, which is going to be negative 2.
Oh, wait.
Your slope is now
Yeah, let's start with A. So, you starting with B?
Yeah.
It's nicer to put the negative on top.
You're way ahead.
The dots are just showing us minus points. So we know that these are nice like whole numbers, right? So these are like in between. Those are going to be decimal numbers. They're going to be not nice.
Oh, shoot.
On the dots, they're nice numbers. What? You don't have to use all three. You can just use
Why is it
two.
so straight? Did I do it wrong? Yes. Oh, man. Like this. There's not an extra
Yeah, they scaled the Y by 2. Tricky. Trapdoor.
Mr. Hudson,
You
I
guys
did.
find the trapdoor on the front, or did you do the front yet?
We already did the front.
Find the trapdoor here. Yeah, with the scale. Yeah. Hold up.
Printed instructions. Juliet Garrett to the Perry office. Juliet Garrett to the Perry office.
See how you guys can figure it out.
Mr. Hudson.
It comes down to practice, right? The more you practice, the more like fluent it's like, oh yeah, slope goes there, y-intercept goes there.
I kind of messed up on the back, so I'm gonna do the graph on the graph paper instead because I messed up.
Now, really, I did just make that handout like last night / this morning because I realized like, hey, we probably should have like a bit more practice with a handout. This was always the lesson. Should I not got awkwardly quiet? Kate thanked me, which doesn't happen a ton as a teacher, but like, guys, what a few of you have said of like, oh my God, I've been struggling with this ever since and finally, guys, that's how life works. Things are difficult until finally they're not difficult anymore. And then you step up to a bigger challenge and it's difficult all over again. So, if this is still feeling difficult, that's okay, but the more we practice together, it should start feeling better. That's funny. Kate, your card was actually the next one up. Can you help me with part C? What our rule is here?
Can I just tell you what it is?
Yeah.
I got y equals 8x plus
8x plus 5, because 8 is the slope, as we can see right here. 5 is the y-intercept, as we can see right there. Any questions?
5. I'm so smart.
Sweet. Actually, I planned this out better that we could bump to this page and still have it. I don't know if this is better. D. Shama. Where are you at? Can you help me with D?
I'll help you with D. Is the equation?
Yes, like we want the rule, the equation.
Y equals 6 minus 2.
Y equals... Ooh, are you sure that 6 is the y-intercept?
Oh, I mean 8.
8. So we could write it 8 minus 2x, or what most of you probably wrote, Zane?
Plus negative plus.
Ooh, no, not so you could have done plus negative 2x, sure, yes, you're right. But most of you probably wrote y equals negative 2x plus 8, right? mx plus b. They're both the same. They're equal. They're both right. Different ways to get to Florida. Trapdoor alert. Trapdoor alert. Arlo, what's the trapdoor here?
Okay. So the trapdoor on E, right? Talking about E.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. The trapdoor is that you see that there is 5 spaces between the 0 line and 10. You see that there's only 5 spaces, right? And when you, of course, when you kind of because you think 10 should be 5, when really no, we could just count by 2s each time.
So it's by 2.
The y-axis is going up by 2s, not 1.
So the y-intercept here is 8, but the slope. Ooh, what's this? Ooh, we got to be careful as we figure out the slope. It's either 4 compared to 1, or some of you probably did, which is still right. Some of you probably did the bigger triangle here, which would be, what's the rise here? 8. Ooh, careful. 4 boxes, but it's 8 actually over 2, or 4 over 1. We're going to get y equals, let's do this one together. Y equals, careful, trapdoor, 4x. Guys, go back and look at E. Most of you are on the back. Go back and look at E.
It's because
That's what we
instead of
wrote.
going by ones, it's kind of
The trapdoor could have gotten you 2 different ways. It could have gotten you figuring out the y-intercept, but then it also could have gotten you again figuring out the slope. Hey guys, can you stop it whenever it is your It could have gotten you figuring out the slope, especially if you don't go all the way to the axis to pay attention to what the axis is showing us. And F, guys, this worked this morning. Can we all agree that we're going to say it, we will default to mx plus b, because I want to try to get us to all say the same thing at the same time, because it's so rewarding when it happens. Do we think we can try to? For F? Alright, so the equation for F would be y equals
4x plus 12.
Happy birthday. No, sorry, not happy birthday.
4x plus 12.
You guys ever feel like when we sing happy birthday during 4, by the end of it, it's just
That's because people
negative 4. Yo, negative 4x plus 12. Any questions from the front? Any other questions from the front? Keep working on the back.
Owen, I'm not Owen. Arlo has left me to die and he will be back.
You can color code with highlighters or pens or colored pencils.
No, we can share.
What?
I'm gonna make separate.
I can tell you the horizontal line is not correct.
Damn, loves not. No. Wait,
One of the slopes is for sure going to have to be negative. Like, what line did you just draw like horizontal? I'm confused why we have a horizontal line. Don't drop it down, I'm just confused. Is that the like exponential? So you know this is 1 x minus 1. Like when I see you and I'm like, hi Sasha, I don't say hi one Sasha, because that's just awkward. I just say hi Sasha. I can start saying, good morning one Sasha, how is one Sasha doing today? I mean, okay. Just for clarity's sake. What if there are multiple of you though? Should I like go to Ghost Protocol or something?
Yeah, I've only ever met one other Sasha.
Well, and they probably don't spell it the same way.
I'm the only Sasha.
I'm literally the only
So I would draw your axes in the middle. Because when you draw your axes like this, saying stop doing the same thing. Draw your axes in the middle, because if we draw our axes down here and here, we won't have the space we need. So draw a heavier line, so we know our axes are in the middle.
I question.
And if you want to grab a ruler, it might help make things a whole lot faster. Then we're going to use the rules up top. I would go color code with it. Now wait, you have your axes drawn. So I'm trying to see what you're doing over here counting boxes. Because I think you're trying too hard. So we don't, it doesn't need to be perfect. Just pick where you think is the middle and just make it heavier, make it heavier. Right? So we start on one of the graphs. Right? We're going to use that for our axes.
And then it was like I was never too big.
So Y is the vertical, right? Y is our vertical.
Okay.
I don't know if I did this right. It's like it says for B, y equals 3x.
We're gonna go over probably a couple together.
I don't know if I did this right. I'm going to take it off of the right. It looks weird. In a respectful way. This weekend basically just went by like this. It It just went by like a minute.
Haha, I'm a teacher and I have quick lines.
It's not fair. It's not fair.
Who what?
As teachers.
Rating and beginning. I just made this worksheet last night/tonight. Or last night/ this morning. I finished this worksheet as you guys were getting into school today. And I decided we needed another worksheet for class to help you guys make more sense of this. I have lost my words. Nope, never mind. Arlo, we talked, right? So your card, about life, the universe, and everything. Now, Hannah, can you help me with how I would approach graphing A?
Well, when you have, okay, so label, are you gonna label the axis or like, are you?
So we're gonna default to a 1-to-1 because I'm just gonna take this advice.
Yeah, I still wrote the numbers.
So Hannah's being like extra thorough and saying, all right, 1, 1, make sure people know what's up.
I know myself and I mess it up.
Okay, good. What then?
I would start with the 0 first because like,
What do you mean the 0?
I'm trying to find a way to explain this.
You're talking about this number,
Are
right?
harder than numbers. So when x is 0, there's gonna be 0 times 4 is 0. So the 4x doesn't count in general. You just start at 3.
So do me a favor and call this the y-intercept.
Yeah.
Because when you call something the 0, that's a math 2. No, that's a vocab term. But it doesn't happen until high school math 2. And it deals with graphs. So Hannah, what you're talking about is a graph that looks like, so here's xy, graph that looks like this. The zeros are there and there. So the zeros are a thing. We don't know how to do it yet. So right now, what we know is y-intercept.
Yeah, the y-intercept would be 3 because there's no x.
So we go to 3, and we plot the y-intercept. All right, 3, done, check mark. What do I do with that 4?
And you can't do like a line just based off that because it could go any possible way. So it would be 1 times 4 because 1 is.
Ooh, you're going the table method.
Yeah,
That's totally fine.
just how
But I
my
think it
brain
said
works.
something about without a table.
Maybe I took that direction out. Yeah, without making a table.
Oh, I didn't make a table. I just thought of it that way.
You mentally made a table.
Which is okay. But, so stick with me. Hold on, like everybody, because if you went the Hannah way, that's fine, but I'm trying to give you a shortcut. Hey, I got a shortcut. Without needing to make a table. This, we know, is our M. M is our change in Y over change in X. And 4, as a fraction, is 4 over 1. So what that's telling me to do is go up 4, go over 1, and drop a new point. I could also do the opposite and go down 4 over 1 and drop a point. But either way, like Hannah said, now that we've got multiple points, we can connect. Sorry, I felt like I was talking over you. You got more?
No. You can just make a line off that.
Technically, we want 3 points. I know 2 points makes a line. But you want to check your work by making sure you have 3 points before you connect it. All.
Would it be okay if you did -3, -3, -1, 1, 2, 3?
What do you mean?
Like what?
Like you put points out here?
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you then like keep the, because this line is continuous. So I'm trying to fix it because my screen is too zoomed in. But this line should be straight. All right. I mean, I don't love doing this. I don't love doing this, but I can't decide a better way. So I am going to scan and upload, just to let you guys know, my version of the front. Right? Beautiful, if I do say so myself. And my version of the back. So what we just drew was 4x plus 3 here, and I might as well pull this out to indicate. So my growth triangle of 4 to 1, my y-intercept of 3, but the line is continuous. When I draw it, it's like off my graph, now we can draw, excuse me, what can we draw on the ends to identify it goes continuous? Just put arrows. Like, you don't have to be silly like me. You can just put arrows. So put an arrow on the end. Put an arrow on the end. So I color-coded this. So if you're still working, that's fine. But guys, let's talk about 3x. To put that into y equals mx plus b, what would your plus b be? Well, 0. So any line that doesn't have the b, well, it does have a b. It's just 0. So we put the y-intercept at the origin, and then go up 3 over 1, up 3 over 1, up 3 over 1. Questions on graphing 3x. What's different about C?
It's negative.
It's negative growth. This line will be going down. Hopefully, if you put your x-axis in the middle of the page, and actually I kind of put mine a little bit high, hopefully you can get to 8. But then we go down 3 over 1. It was way too busy up here, so I drew those growth triangles down here. Down 3 over 1, down 3 over 1. Or you could say over 1, down 3. Doesn't make a difference. Questions on part C. And guys, D, I saw a couple people get tripped up by D. One Sasha was one of them, so now I will start referring to one Sasha. Every time I see one Sasha, I will be saying, "Hi, one Sasha. How are you, one Sasha?" Why am I being silly and saying one Sasha? Oh, no. It's 1x. Right? This is 1x minus 1. So we start at negative 1, but our slope is 1. For D, our slope is 1. I don't have to say, "Hi, 1 Mr. Waterwash. How is 1 Mr. Waterwash today?" 1 Mr. Waterwash is my favorite person. It's silly to always say 1. 1 is like assumed. So we don't have to write the 1, but we need to pay attention. If they don't write the 1, my bad, knocked it. If they don't show the 1, we got to remind ourselves, oh yeah, that's 1. So my slope is 1.
That makes sense. Like the way you explained it made sense.
Thank you, one Liam. I'm glad it made sense. One Jaga.
One Jagger.
Any questions? Guys, I'm going to blanket say I'm not doing this even for Sasha. It will be too much. Any questions on graphing these lines? Any questions on graphing these lines? Cora.
Would it just start at 0? What's like the, what's it called?
For B, yeah, the y-intercept is 0. Yep, you just start at 0. Now, but guys, remember, this is why I don't like saying start at. It goes the other way, too. Like, so if we start at 0 and grow by 3, great, we did the line, but then I have to come back and go the opposite direction also and keep that line going into the negatives. All right, with that, you guys can pack it up and start heading towards extensions.
Ready?
Well, then do the homework so you can keep doing math and keep feeling confident. Oh, hold up! What Owen is probably about to ask me about error on your homework, and I don't know why. It's because the copy machines hate me, apparently. On, what is it, 417. On 417. On your paper, it looks like this. Because now I've finally realized, like, I should change it before I print it this year. Liam, please stop what you're doing. So it's meant to be this, and if you go check your book, it is that. But what you need to do, 0 goes with 5, 1 goes with 7, 2 with 9, 3 with 11, 0 with 4, 1 with 2, 2 with 0. Like, these go together. They're just
slanted.
offset. Yeah, they're like slanted. So 3 has no partner. This 30 has no partner, right? This 30 has no partner right now. We got to figure it out and fill them in. Sorry, I changed it for next year's class. I forgot before I printed your guys' homework.
Thank you, Owen. I appreciate that.
So there's what it should be.
That would have been very confusing.